Awesome. All right. Today we have a special one. This is Joe with All Star Renovation. He is the founder and CEO. Joe, would love for you to introduce yourself, tell people your story and where you're based and how you even got it started in this whole business.
Yeah. Gosh, I always felt funky at work. I just didn't like reporting to people. So that's kind of like one of the things. Like I always felt like I was they're like kind of keeping me small at work, and so I just knew I could do something else. I'm actually I'm an immigrant from the Philippines, and so I'll get into everything else. But yeah, it's kind of I moved to Arizona. I think I was in seventh grade or something. But I was born in the Philippines, moved to Cali, moved to Arizona, and I love Arizona. I love everything about it. And I'm one of those guys that's like I'm really thankful to be in America. I'm thankful because there's the American dream for me. I think is alive, and all these cool things I've been able to do because I live here versus in the Philippines. That's one big important thing about me. As far as how I got into business, I've always I've always tried to make money and like with my different hobbies. So like originally I would like buy dirt bikes because I was into dirt bikes, and then I started learning that I was like, hey, I think the price of this is pretty low. I wonder if I could sell this thing. And so I was flipping dirt bikes. I was flipping like I got into like golf. I'd like flip golf clubs, and I was always having some kind of a side hustle forever. Then eventually I kind of understood that I'm somewhat of a broker of sorts. And so when I started flipping houses, and I started really figuring out what that process looked like. Well, I asked my contractor asked me. He said, "Hey, how much do I owe you, uh, or how much do you owe me still for this job?" And I was like, "You don't know what I owe you?" So I could have said any number. And so that got me thinking about, hey, you know what? I wonder if I need to switch to there because in 21 the ARVs were really hard to predict because the interest rates had changed and everything, and so it got a little bit more risky. I'd done a flip, made a ton of money, and then my next flip was like, hey, this was a break even. What happened here? And that had a lot to do with the interest rate change. And so when you're investing, $100,000 and you're getting a zero return, you start, kind of questioning that. And so whenever I saw that my subcontractor or I guess it was my sub, didn't even know what the heck was going on with his numbers, I said, you know what, I think I can do better. And so that's when it all kind of started.
Dang, let's go. And by the way, like Joe's one of our clients. You're one of my favorite. Your attitude is infectious. Like you smile. I work with a lot of people who just some of them just don't smile. It's like I like people who can, enjoy what they're doing, who bring that light. And you're just I love the attitude. Um, it's been just a pleasure to work together. And I'd love to get like rewind the clock back on when you came here from the Philippines. How did
Yeah.
that how did you move here? Was it up to you? Was it up to your parents? What even made you take that leap of faith and say, let's go to the States?
Yeah, I was 6. It was really my parents. My dad was a big time real estate guy in the Philippines. It's funny because like some of these books that people are recommending to read, my dad was like, "You need to read this," and I remember thinking, "What is this crap?" And now I go back and I think, "Oh my gosh, these are all the same things that my dad would tell me to read." And he was an entrepreneur. He struggled a little bit more when we were in the States, just because English was his second language and just the culture stuff. I think maybe got him. But overall, he really did know a lot about business and stuff like that. So yeah, I was 6, I think, when we moved out here.
Do you think you've always been an entrepreneur? Do you think you became one? I know you said you were always doing these side hustles and trying to make money in certain pockets, but do you think that was through nurture or nature?
You know, one of the things I've been doing, like all this like self discovery, and I would like basically what I noticed was I was trying to do for others. Like I worked for this company, and I would look up to these different people, and I would be waiting for them to tell me, hey, I'm ready or I'm good enough or whatever. And so then I kind of followed that path, and I just noticed that, you know, it was up to them who's getting promoted, essentially. And I'm like, how come I'm not getting this opportunity? And that's when I started thinking like, what is up with this? So I made a big change in 2020, and I went to work for this other company, and I saw them, and that company was awesome, like $1 billion in revenue. And I went in there and I showed a lot of. I have a background in like Lean Six Sigma, process engineering, and so I went in that company. I was like, man, these guys don't have it together either. And I made some really good, to me, like really good changes there. But anyway, point is, that's when I started thinking, gosh, I think I can do this on my own. Like, I don't need someone to validate me for me to start doing this or doing that or validating me through a promotion. And when I started seeing that, like, hey, look, you're capable, believe in yourself, give it a go, that's when I started, like, now I have, like, tons of confidence. Like now I just know I can do whatever the heck I want. And like what's cool about being an entrepreneur is there's unlimited openings, right? You can do whatever the heck you want. No one's gonna tell you you're ready or you're not ready. When you work in the corporate world, they're gonna tell you, oh, you're ready for this, you're for that, or hey, right now there's no openings. Being an entrepreneur, there's openings everywhere. If you're interested in it, you want to put in the work, do it, and the payoff is there. So I think that's kind of what happened to me is started to slowly believe in myself. Once I saw that, like, hey, these big dogs, they have things that they need to improve on too. It just showed me like, hey, I think I can do this.
I love it. So to kind of show people out, like roughly ballpark, like how far you've come, like what do you guys think you guys might do this year?
This
Ballpark
year,
range.
yeah, I think this year we're gonna probably do 3.5 to 4. I haven't looked at the numbers in the last 5 weeks, but we had a month where we signed 1.3 million in contracts, and I was just like, that was 30 days. That it's just, and again, with your help, it's just going to keep growing. And really that I think of I have different lines of business, right? So this is a lead source. So this Instagram lead source, this volume was zero before I met you. And so, the two different strategies we have there in combination, I think is going to be really good. And I've learned new terms and new this and new that working with you. And I think the best part of that is, do I think I would have learned that eventually? Sure, but it took forever. With you, I got to fast forward. This coaching gets me fast forward, and I think we talked about it before, where I spent 50 grand this year in the last year just in coaching, and some are better than others. Yours was definitely top tier, but I'm gonna keep spending money on coaching. I'm gonna figure out until I feel really good, and then who knows? Maybe I design my own freaking course of all the experience I've had. So I think that not everybody can get mentors. I feel lucky to have like a handful of mentors that have been helping me out, but helping each other out's a big deal. I really care about that.
How does it feel emotionally now to be able to have a team where it's your business, but you can hang out with the family? Of course, you're going to manage some projects here and there. They'll call you up, but like overall, I mean, you're not door knocking anymore. You're not cold calling. You're not, you're the head honcho. Like, do you ever
Yeah.
sit back and like ask yourself or smoke a cigar on the patio or whatever, be like, wow, like this is like you're kind of proud of yourself in a way that you've come this far already?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, I just live happy every day. I'm just super thankful. I'm a Christian too. And I don't know if you knew that, but
Yeah.
I know that the Lord's been blessing us, and I just stay thankful. And I think I don't, especially now, I don't try to put too much pressure on what revenue are we creating. I just want to make sure my processes are tight. If I get frustrated about something, it's that. It's like, dude, this was the process. What's going on? And if it's not working out, then what can I do different to improve it? Like, how much of this do I own? Like, I was, you know, getting frustrated at one of the guys just a day or two ago, and I'm really thinking about it. It's like I have too much on his plate. It's not fair what I'm doing. And so living in this like daily gratitude kind of grounds me, I think, and it gets me to think that way instead of being like these guys are. Everybody needs to be doing what they're supposed to do. It's not the case, but I don't feel any real pressure when it comes to the business. Um, the other thing is, you get confidence because I'm not going to not know what you taught me. I'm not going to not know what I learned a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I keep increasing knowledge up here. I can lose my whole business tomorrow. I know exactly what to do to generate it again. You know, I have so much confidence right now. I just feel like I open my hands and I feel like energy, like blessings going into my hand right now, and like that's just kind of where my energy is right now. I feel so good about everything, so it's
I
awesome.
love that. I love that. Yeah, skills and ads are my two favorite things to buy. It's like, genuinely, it's like all it takes to scale is balls and math. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just a matter of like, do you want to like what's the goal? What does it take to get there? Reverse engineering it. And I mean, you took that leap of faith to invest not only in me, but other people as well. I've spent same thing, 50 grand past year in consulting. I mean, that's not easy to do. That takes some balls, right? Like it's like, but look, it's paid off. So it's just like, I guess to people who are scared to invest. I mean, once you reach a certain point, you trade money for more time. But a lot of people before that trade time for more money. And so, at what point did that flip for you in your career where it's like, okay, no, yeah, like, of course I value money, but I value time more because that's my greatest asset?
yeah. When I really started making money with All Star, I started questioning like, well, here's what happened. It's like in the beginning, I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
I'm doing the sales. I'm getting the leads. I'm dropping off material. I'm PMing the jobs. You're like, frick, is it worth it? Because, like I said, I live happy every day. I'm awesome. My wife is amazing. I love my relationship with my kids. I have a great family. I have great friends. I live happy daily, and that's when I was questioning, frick, is this what I want? And I decided, you know, it's not, I mean, I don't mind the grind in the beginning, but now that we have the back office person, PMs, sales guys, now it's like becoming a lot more manageable for me. Like I don't really, if anything, I'm just doing like the videos that you taught me how to make, right? So really, I'm just making videos. I'm not doing much of anything else. Obviously, I'm getting new business and doing that kind of stuff, but from the day to day, I don't have it. And so, that me, it was that dead. I went to I went to WealthCon, and I got to hang out with like Dan Martell and some of these guys, and it was cool. I think that's when I started like really thinking about, all right, well, how do I buy back my time? What are some things I need to be doing differently? And again, I think I spent 10 grand to be in that room,
Hmm.
at WealthCon, and there's some other cool people there, and I think Pace Morby was there, like people were like, "Would you gonna spend 10 grand to go there? Like, buy the $1,000 ticket or buy the general admission ticket, you know?" And so it's not. I would just want to be in that circle. So we went to dinner with these guys. We did all this. That I think that's probably when it changed. Even though I don't know how great I added more money to that too, because obviously they upsell you on these programs. But that was the first set of money that I was like, I'm just gonna spend it. I have it, and let's see what happens. And dude, that was like the game changer. That's when I saw there's regular people just like me making moves that seem scary, but are really the next moves you should be making.
Interesting. Yeah. It's super cool how masterminds in rooms and just connect work like networking and just I know a lot of people talk on mindset like, oh, it's fluff or who gives a shit or like it's, woo woo, but it really, it really is big. Having that growth mindset and like taking calculated risks. I mean, you're placing bets every time you invest in anything, right? Whether that's ads or skills or coaching. It's like, but they're like, what else are you gonna do? Save it and just leave it in a bank? Or are you gonna use
Yeah,
it to make more? Like it's a tool. Um,
yeah.
yeah. No, that's super cool.
I've
What do
seen
you
a
think?
return on every investment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you said you've invested in some bad stuff. I got scammed one time. I got spent like 5 grand on a course that was straight balls. Like I was all on YouTube and it was terrible. Like yeah. If people don't have calls, like I would never just buy a course anymore unless it came with calls to help implement that. It's kind of what I learned, unless they're just like across the
It
board
is.
amazing. But
It
yeah,
sucks.
it's
Like,
like, yeah,
one of them, I was like, why am I paying? I even asked the guy. I was like, why? What am I paying this extra money for? And it was like no real answers. Oh,
yeah,
you can. I'm like, I don't care about that. I wanted real coaching. It's like referring me back to the videos. No,
totally.
that's BS. That's why I like yours. I like yours, man. First of all, I like the format. I mean, obviously everyone's using school and stuff, but like the way you have it, the opportunity you give us. If anything, if I didn't get value out of it, like it was because of me, because you give all the opportunity to have conversations, and you're real good. Even in the calls, you're real good about if like I wasn't gonna say anything, like call us out, say, hey, what's going on, and just make sure we're good and just being available. And then like Carter, like she's awesome. So there's like, no, I think your team's just good. And not everybody. I don't think everybody sets it up the way you have it. So I'm glad that you're like smaller right now, but like I know you're gonna be huge. You're gonna be a big dog in this coaching space. I know it, and so I'm glad that like we're homies now versus followers and all this, street cred. So I'm glad I'm in early.
We'll always be homies. We'll always be homies. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, no, I'm happy. I think Steve referred, right? Steve referred. Yeah, I'm really
Yeah, I
happy.
went to high school with them. I wasn't gonna buy another program to be honest,
Yeah,
because I was
yeah.
like, and then I saw his. I was watching you for like probably a month. I've been seeing your videos, and then I saw Steve on there. I was like, "What? Let me call this guy." I went to high school with Steve. For the viewers, they don't know, but I was like, "Is this BS?" He's like, "Dude, don't." He's like, "Don't be cheap. Pay for the program." God, I'm gonna freak because I was like, Steve, just tell me what he teaches you. He's like, "Don't be cheap. Just pay for the program." I'm like, "All right, fine." And so the next day, I got in there and yeah, I'm so thankful because, like I said, it's not even just a revenue I've just built. It's a lifetime of revenue that I'm gonna get because I spent the money, for your program. Lifetime of revenue, and I'm teaching my kids. They do like junk removal and dumpster rentals and stuff, and so I'm teaching them. So there's so much value. It's such a no-brainer, dude. Like that's how I think about any learning. Not even, I mean, yours for sure, but really anything that I've learned is like it's such a no-brainer to invest.
Appreciate that.
It's just like
Yeah.
going to college. I mean, how much are people are going to college learning nothing for hundreds of thousands a year, and this is real stuff. It makes real revenue, so it's awesome.
I appreciate it. And I know you said numbers wise, it was like you spent like 3 grand and then made in ads so far and then made roughly over 6 figures. Or I just would love to get a hard number on
Yeah,
that.
I think we had 120 contracts signed and people made deposits, and then I have probably another two or three hundred. I know it's like 9 leads, and on average, we have I think 35K per lead on average. Like one of the leads I landed was $80,000 for one person. So with those 9 leads, if I close three or four, that's a pretty good, little bit more revenue. Again, when you do the ROAS on that.
Right. Right. Got to jump up the ad spend on that one. Turn up the dial on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Once you get the
When I
15,
landed my first job, I tripled my ad spend, and I was
there
like,
we
okay,
go. There we go. Yeah. I told you this on the last call. I think if I were to start another local service business again, I'd get back into the remodeling space and just do high ticket run ads, same process. I'd probably throw some lead forms in there too. And then just get like, I love what you do and you can exit. So getting back to you, what's your end goal with All Star? Do you have a picture in your mind? Are you kind of just, one foot after the other, or do you have a North Star that you're working towards?
you know, I that's I've been talking to my wife about what do we really want. I think we can have like a national brand. We're already working with another company out of New Mexico. They're coming out. They're coming out. They're coming out here, and so they actually want us to do all their fulfillment. So that's like there's no, that's a whole nother division for my company. And so what I'm working on now is standardizing everything. I'm actually looking for a chief of staff right now that I can just have a right hand man or right hand gal, whatever they end up being. And there's some stuff that I just can't execute on because we're just busy. And even like the department heads, like the sales head guy, he's too busy going to appointments, making sales. He can't get the standardized stuff going. The fulfillment guys, the PMs, all of them, they don't have time. So I need to help design and create some of these processes. I need a right hand man to help me, execute. Um, if I get that really good, then it's franchising probably, um, and then going nationwide for that. That's like That's if I want that. I see it. I can make that happen. Again, I live happy, so I don't plan on working for more than 5 more years anyway, regardless if I franchise or not. So I've been
Wow.
investing a long time, and so I can. It just depends on what makes me happy, you know. So, but if I want to go that route, I know I can do it.
Totally. 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 Yeah. I love that. It's cool too. Like if you do get that chief of staff or that COO or director of ops, or,
Yeah,
it frees up so much of the phone calls you'll have to deal with right now. Your only job would honestly be maybe once a Saturday, go film a few reels or whatever. And like, or anything else, how involved you want to be. But it's, that's buying back your time to talk Dan Martell. I mean, you just throw someone in there and yeah, it might affect your bottom line a little, but the amount of freedom you buy back is insane.
yeah. I have a nonprofit, and I'd love to spend more time doing that stuff. And I think that for me, that's fulfilling, right? So when in 5 years, I'll probably go all in on that and serve the community and stuff like that.
What kind of nonprofit is it?
It's called Smiles from Caleb. We do a couple of things. It's actually, and I probably won't talk about it here, but my son passed away in 2013, so it's like just something that's personal to me. So what we do every year, we do two things. We serve the community two ways. We're in schools where 98% of the students live below the poverty line. So we have a thing called Caleb's Closets. So we have 3 schools now that we work with, and they have a closet. We supply with, toiletries, clothing, shoes, whatever that school needs. They just tell us, and we fill it up. And then this year, so every year, we have a toy delivery that we do where we give out toys in like South Phoenix, Maryville. We go to this one trailer park where it's like tons of these kids, and we go there every year and hand out toys. And then we go to the schools and we hand out toys. Every kid in the school gets a toy. So that's what we do. I know the need is so much bigger, and I think I can be doing more there. So again, I'm pretty motivated from a money perspective, but only to the point where I want to get my time back and then give to the community because that's really what's fulfilling. That makes sense.
No, 100%. I mean, I like to ask a lot of people this I talk to or interview on pods, but what do you want to be remembered for at the end of the day?
Man, I don't really ever think like that. I just think I'm like another like regular dude. I definitely want to be like if someone's talking about me, I definitely want them to say that I was helpful or yeah, I just want to be known as someone who's helpful and that cared and wanted to do good for other people. Um, it's really easy to kind of like get away from that with the pressures of business, and then you start focusing on dollars and you start treating each other poorly because of a missed deadline or that. And so I try to check myself when that happens. But yeah, that's why I think about the business. Like, is the business making me a better, human for others, or is it am I turning into something that I don't really want to be? And that's why I was saying like, I don't know if I even want this. But I think if I keep my eyes on God and just remember that like what's really important, I think I'll be fine. But yeah, if I could just honestly, if I could just people be like, hey, that guy was a good dude and helpful and was there when I needed him, then I'll be totally happy.
I love it. Yeah, it's tough sometimes as a Christian too, like balancing the balance sheet, but then also your relationship with God and like we're in business to make money and help others. Like that's it, right? We make money by solving other people's problems, but it's like at the same time, you also the goal of business is to stay in business. So and money's just points at the end of the day. So it's like, how do you balance that sometimes without going to like having a business that you would just do for free, right?
Yeah,
Or a business that you're charging these prices or XYZ, but you're maybe not helping out as much as you could be. You're not being as good of a Christian, so-called whatever, as you could be. Like, I don't know. I've struggled with that in the past. Even today,
yeah,
currently, sometimes struggle with that. It's just like, how yeah, even being a leader your team wants to work for versus and the culture's great versus, being a boss that gets shit done. Like
yeah.
how do you balance that in your mind?
Dude, I don't know. Uh, I I was feeling pressure. We were making some bad decisions, and I started behaving badly to the guys. And I kind of was like, dude, you're a dirtbag. Why would you talk to them like that? Really like got in like in my head. I was like, dude, you don't want to be doing that, you know. And stayed pretty open. I even say like, dude, I'm not trying to like give you a hard time here. There's no excuse for me behaving badly. And so that I said that the culture starts with me, and I had to kind of own up to that. That was some medicine I had to take. That was kind of tough. Um, but yeah, I focus on that now. I really do. And making the money, it doesn't really matter. The only pressure I have is just making sure that like we have all these jobs that feed. I mean, there's tons of families that rely on our revenue to pay for their, you know, living. And so that's the kind of pressure that I'm feeling. But it doesn't give me an excuse to, you know, behave badly or whatever within the team. So I'm definitely not perfect. I hope that I just keep getting better as I grow as a leader.
Why did you decide to live in the jungle rather than exist in the zoo?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess me. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I thought you were gonna go.
The other guy on podcasting.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was a rhetoric.
No.
No, I had this like weird feeling in my like gut or like somewhere inside of me that was like, dude, you're capable of more. I don't, you know. I think in the beginning it was like to prove to people, but now it's like I almost have like a duty to do kind of what I'm doing because I am impacting people's lives. It is a cool thing that I'm doing, and so I don't just to another name drop is I had like this session with Ryan Pineda, and I was telling him I was like I don't know I was like I was just like I was telling you I don't know if I want to get any bigger. He's like you're selfish, man. I'm like what do you mean I'm selfish? And he kind of like challenged me about like dude you have this it's your duty to make a difference if you're capable, you know. And I was like, all right, I don't know if I 100% buy into that, but he told me that once, and I was like, oh, maybe, you know, maybe this pressure I'm feeling is worth it because of the impact I'm able to make for those around me. And that there have been some cool things I've been able to do because of this business, and I have been able to bless a lot of people because of the business. So it does feel good, but definitely still working that out in my head.
Yeah, I think he got that from Cardone. Because Cardone was always like, if you're making $400,000 a year, you should be ashamed of yourself. And then and then it's like crazy. And then he was just like rage bait. But yeah, the whole like keep growing or it's selfish. I mean, yeah, it's tough. You could make 50K a month chill, just whatever, or you could continue to scale it. Like it's, you know, uh yeah,
I
it's
see it
nuts.
growing to whatever the frick I want it to grow. Like I don't have any of those concerns. It's just that I'm. It's not a problem. It's awesome, but I already live happy, you know. So I don't know how much more of that. Unless I just hire the right team or the right people, then I'm not. I don't know. I get. I don't. I talk to my wife about this all the time, right? Because I've always just wanted to stop working early and just make a positive impact in the community, stay healthy. I mean, you know, happiness looks different for everybody. You don't have to be Grant Cardone, billionaire, to be happy. You know,
Yeah. Amen. What do you think your biggest weakness and strength is as a person? Not just maybe it's business, maybe it's life, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
the biggest weakness, my kids, man. Those dang, they, man, they. I just want the best for them,
Yep.
and so
Not a
I
weakness.
do think.
That's not a weakness. That
No, it is, dude. They like. I just. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's things that I should let them feel the pain of, or say no to something that I don't. And so I don't know if I'm doing a good job with that or not. I'll find out soon. My son turned 18, so we'll see if he's gonna be good or not. But yeah, I don't know. I being a parent is my weakness. It's hard, dude. Like you don't know if you're doing a good job. So it's Yeah, it's
Interesting.
it's it's tough, man.
Do you
It's
ask
it's
for
tough.
feedback or how does that work? Like,
I
like
think like you don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't
right.
know. Sometimes I'm like, I think is my kid becoming entitled? And I start thinking that if he is, I'm screwed. 'Cause like, why did I do that to him?
Yeah.
So I've taken actually a very, very hard on my two older boys. And my two younger boys, I'm like really easy, showing them a lot of
It's like a
love.
split test. It's
It's a split. It's exactly it. It's a split test, dude. So hey, talk to me in 10 years. I'll let you know how they're both doing. I definitely have a different approach now. My older boys are like, man, you're too easy on them.
That's
Like I
funny.
said, dude, it's the hardest. Being a parent, man, it's the hardest thing to do. And I just want my kids to like want to hang out with me, like when they leave the house. And if they're gonna want to do that, I'll be stoked.
That's deep. Dang, that's deep. That's a really good answer. Yeah. Dang. I'll go to you for that advice because I need to get a girlfriend first, but well, well once I'm there, yeah, I'll hit you up. I love that.
Well,
What
yeah,
about
that's
your
definitely that's the
what?
most important decision you're gonna make, buddy. I know, like I don't, I look, I'm a lot older than you. I don't know if you know that. I'm gonna
No,
turn, I'm turning 45 in March. Yeah, right. You better figure out the right wife. That's where I won the lottery is. My wife, I did a good job, and
I love
so
it.
that's, dude, that, dang, yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll mentor you at some point when it comes to that stuff. But
I'll hit you
yeah,
up.
that's a
I'll
big,
hit
that's a
you up.
big decision, buddy.
I'll definitely hit you up. What do you think strength wise? What is it for Joe?
Gosh, dude. Um, it's kind of a strength and a weakness. I really feel like I see a process how it should be, and I see where the opportunity is in that process. The part that I'm not good at is bringing people along. Like, hey, don't you see it? It's so easy. But what the frick are you talking about? And so, like, I can see it really easily what it should be. And so, I think when I make those changes and I'm in charge of making those changes, I get good results all the time. The part that I'm not as good at is just making sure I bring people along around what is going on here and how they can help and the root cause of that. So I think that's why I've been really successful with even the little small businesses that I've been doing. Like again, I don't they're not really businesses, but like when I was selling dirt bikes, I was selling like five a month, and so back then when I wasn't making a good living, the company I was running was like this is a lot of money. And so that's the money that I was putting away. Because I was putting that money away, I was able to invest in properties. I have quite a few rentals and all that. So like if I never learned that skill, I'd probably be retired.
Got it. Good to know. Thanks for sharing. What's to kind of round things off? What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
My friend told me this a long like probably 20 years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago, my friend told me don't limit your thinking, and I didn't really understand it until like really the last few years. And because like if I want to be a developer, I can be a developer. It's not set up for these different people that are developers. And so, like I said earlier, there's unlimited positions available. You want to be this or that, you can do that. And I think gaining that confidence to not really limit yourself is probably that's the self work that you've got to do to be able to say, hey, look, I can do that. That's what held me back for a long time.
Love it. Just having a growth mindset. Well, Joe, I appreciate you coming on. Where can people find you at? If they want to work with you, have you redo their entire kitchen, home, bathroom, which I highly recommend. Where can people go?
Yeah, well, find me on Instagram because that's what I've optimized through Tyler's class. So it's All Star Renovations, and then I also have all-starrenovations.com where you can come check out what we do. And so those are the two areas you can best find us, and we'll live and help you out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, you got it, man. Thank you.